Is with me. He is the former British Conservative MP. A really simple question, Alistair. Can the Prime Minister survive this?
I don't think so, Richard. Her survival doesn't depend on her redoubtable determination and her willingness to stay in office and face all the challenges. It depends on the Parliamentary Conservative Party, of which 2/3 did not vote for her in the leadership contest. It depends on whether or not the markets respond well to the decisions that her Chancellor will make in the next few days, and whether or not the country at large recovers some degree of confidence in her. So her survival is not up to her. And at the moment, from all the noises being made, it would look extremely difficult for her to survive.
Okay, so I guess the mechanism is, how is she removed?
The mechanism is up to her colleagues in Parliament. The Conservative Parliamentary Party has complete autonomy in these things. It makes the rules by which leaders are chosen. The current rules require a leadership contest involving the membership of the party. The Parliamentary Party could change that rule overnight. Almost certainly, if there was to be another leader, it would not be as a result of another 6-week-long campaign involving the membership. The members would have to accept, and I'm a member, I would have to accept that I would not have a vote, because what's imperative is that the government has an opportunity to recover its authority, not for the purposes of bolstering the Conservative Party, pure and simple, but doing the right thing for the country, which is now the most important thing. So the rules can be changed very quickly, and a new leader could be installed if that is what the elected members of the Conservative Party in Parliament decide to do.
I guess when one looks at the situation, you ask, how did they ever make this policy in the first place? Didn't go through Cabinet, didn't go through the OBR. By all accounts, they just decided the Treasury was against it. And it does beg the question, they did it against all advice. How?
You'll probably know a bit of the answer to this, Richard. You know that within the Conservative Party there has long been a strand of libertarian free market economics driven by those who put forward such things. In the United Kingdom, they're covered by think tanks such as the IEA, the Institute of Economic Affairs, and others. And they have theories, and the theories are that in the bright and beautiful world they wish to see, you cut taxes, it inspires growth, everybody gets more money, and everything works well. And I think both Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng have been part of this ideological drive for a long time. And they and the think tanks and the newspapers who supported them until very recently, when they seem to move their position a bit, have put them in a position to say, well, now you're in charge, you can try it. But doing so at a time when market conditions and life was very different. And it seems to someone who does not share an ideological free market takes all position, that you make your economics work for the country. And I don't think they listened, and they were so determined to kick over the traces that became the dominant theme. And we've seen what's happened, which has been an extremely rough brush with reality.
Alistair Burt.